When I just kind of heard what they were doing, and of course you have Caitlin, who's drawn eyes from all around the world. That was like, why would I not? Why not be a part of something great? You go from Diana, and now you're going to a team who is going to be a contender for a championship. And so I'm stoked about this year. I'm really excited for the players, but I'm also excited just for the community and the relationship and the culture that you guys have here.
Sophie Cunningham sat down for her debut interview as a newly minted Indiana Fever player. And let's just say, she wasted no time making headlines. With her brand new jersey already flying off shelves worldwide, because of course it is, Sophie delivered a message loud enough to echo across the WNBA. I think we are going to win a championship. Mic drop.
I am really excited, and I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes. I came here to win. And I really do think that with the group that we have, that we are going to win. We are going to get a championship sooner.
That one sentence wasn't just a confident prediction. It was a direct challenge to every critic doubting Indiana's rise, especially the loudest one of them all. Sheryl Swoopes. Ah yes, remember when Sheryl Swoopes, former WNBA icon, now full-time bad take machine, stood tall and boldly declared that nobody wanted to play with Caitlin Clark?
What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
It quickly became a rally cry for the anti-Clark crowd, a go-to quote for anyone trying to downplay Clark's rapid rise in the league.
When this opportunity came about, when I first heard about it, I was so excited. Like I just knew that it was my time to get outside my comfort zone.
But Sophie's arrival, and everything that followed, absolutely shredded that narrative. While Swoopes was making her rounds doubling down on her theory, the Indiana Fever were quietly flipping the entire offseason upside down. This wasn't your typical roster tinkering. No, Indiana was assembling what now looks like a title-contending roster.
We're going to be a phenomenal group. I'm excited for all the other pieces that came in this offseason with me. And so when I really see what I can do here, I'm confident in that, but I really am just excited for the big picture of what everyone brings to this team.
First up, Natasha Howard, champion, defensive beast, and walking matchup nightmare. Then came Dewana Bonner, one of the most respected scorers in the league, who brings both buckets and postseason savvy. Add in Sydney Colson, a glue player with veteran smarts and one of the most respected locker room voices around. And then Sophie Cunningham joins the mix.
I really am just excited about not only what I can bring to the table, but as a whole, our versatility as a team is going to be huge.
This wasn't a reluctant move. Sophie didn't look like someone who was dragged into a situation against her will. She looked energized, hyped, like a competitor who just saw the perfect fit and leapt at the chance. She gushed about Indiana's playing style. She was thrilled at the chance to run the floor with Caitlin Clark. It wasn't just admiration. It was excitement, chemistry, and buy-in.
The style of play that you guys are playing here, that Stephanie is going to bring here, it's run and gun, it's shooters, it's emotion offense, and so my eyes lit up like a Christmas tree.
So much for Swoopes' infamous "nobody wants to play with her" line, huh? Need more proof this narrative has completely collapsed? Look at the fans. Sophie's jersey? Gone. Sold out. That's not some fluke. That's a fan base rallying behind the Fever's momentum and Clark's gravitational pull. Players are showing up. Fans are all in. The hype is real and deserved.
So I played an emotion offense my whole life outside of kind of Phoenix. You know, it was more one-on-one and let people do their thing. And if you're open, you're open. Where I like to move. I like to run. I like to dribble and kick, you know what I mean? And so when you see Caitlin, when you see Aaliyah Boston, she's a great passer. Kelsey Mitchell's a great passer, that if you move and you make the great cut, you're going to get the ball. And I think that just helps everybody, free up. And so I like to run. I kind of get the name Forrest Gump sometimes. And I'm like, hey, if you guys want to call me, that's fine. I'll beat you down the court every time. But I really am just excited for the style of play and what I can bring to the table for this team.
But the most important moment came when Sophie shut the door on all the noise. I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes. I came here to win. With that one sentence, she didn't just back Caitlin Clark. She exposed the absurdity of the idea that playing with Clark is some kind of burden. Nobody's ducking the spotlight in Indiana. They're chasing it, alongside Clark. And judging by the roster, they're about to bring some banners with them.
Being here, I've already been motivated. Like, I know this is a new, fresh start. I'm not in a box anymore. Like, I can finally be free and be in an offense that I think that I can really thrive in and be around players who our mind is strictly on basketball and winning. So I'm just re-motivated. I'm refocused. I feel like I'm back, to be honest. I got a nice tan and that always makes me feel good too. And so being here, honestly, it just makes me want to work even harder than what I've been doing.
What Sophie Cunningham made crystal clear in her first interview is this: real contenders, players with their eyes on a championship, see something special happening in Indiana. They're not running away from the challenge. They're running toward the opportunity. They see a rising star in Caitlin Clark with generational talent, a blossoming powerhouse in Aaliyah Boston, the scoring punch of Kelsey Mitchell, and the relentless energy of Lexi Hull. Altogether, it's a recipe for something potentially historic. This wasn't a case of a veteran settling for a backup plan. This wasn't someone being shipped off and trying to make the best of a bad draw. No, this was a proven player choosing Indiana, singing the praises of her new teammates, and making it clear from day one, she's here to win it all. Cunningham wasted no time in shutting down Sheryl Swoopes' misguided claims. If there were any doubts that players didn't want to team up with Clark, Sophie just erased them with one confident smile and a bold prediction.
I am just so excited to be here. I'm from the Midwest, and so for me to kind of get back to my roots and be close to my family, I'm so excited. Like, when I say that I am refreshed and I am motivated and I just like kind of feel like my spark is back. Everyone thinks I've been feisty. You've not even seen the feisty side of me yet. So this should be really fun. But for me, I'm excited to be closer to home. I'm excited to deep dive into the community of Indiana. I've already met a lot of really cool people. I'm excited to inspire the next generation of young boys and girls around here, get to know the community more.
When Cunningham speaks about the Fever, she doesn't sound like someone stuck in a situation. She sounds like a player who's finally found her basketball sanctuary, a place where her game, her grit, and her championship mindset are embraced.
To kind of come into something that's refreshing, that people's minds are just wanting to win, people are willing to work hard. It's a younger group. And so to me, that's refreshing. And now you just have to put all the puzzle pieces together, but you need someone to do that. And so I do know that I'm not old, but I'm also not young. So I'm kind of in that middle group. I still have a lot to learn, and I want to be a sponge. I want to continue to learn and continue to grow. But I also think that I had Diana to take me under her wing, and who better else to teach you the ropes in the W than Diana Taurasi. And so for me to come in here knowing what I've been taught, I kind of want to spread it around, especially with how talented this group is.
But while Sophie found the perfect home, Caitlin Clark found something she seriously lacked last season: someone ready to protect her. We all remember how Clark, the WNBA's biggest attraction, was routinely targeted by cheap shots throughout her rookie year. The hit from Kennedy Carter was only the most viral example in a long season of unnecessary fouls and flagrant contact.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
Game after game, Clark was on the floor, sometimes literally, taking punishment with barely a glance from officials and little response from teammates. The young Fever squad was talented, sure, but lacked the experience and edge to stand up for their star. Opposing players quickly realized there were no consequences for targeting Indiana's rookie phenom.
I'm a little bit sassy sometimes, which people don't like, but I love. My teammates always love. And to be honest, I spread the court. Like, I can shoot the ball. And when you have playmakers who are quick, who are great passers, with Kelsey Mitchell too, it lets them do their thing. And then the defense draws in and you're just ready to shoot. And so, I think that I'll bring a lot to this team. But at the end of the day, I want to be a good leader. I want to be a great teammate. I want to bring the culture piece and make sure our egos are put aside and that we're all in here to win. And I think that's going to be pretty easy with the group that we have.
Now, enter Sophie Cunningham, the WNBA's ultimate agitator. This isn't just another shooter coming to town. Sophie is bringing fire, fight, and that much-needed enforcer energy Clark lacked last season. When she calls herself sassy, that's being modest. Opponents know exactly who she is, someone who embraces the chaos, who will bark right back and who doesn't let teammates take hits without consequences.
I'm just excited to kind of maybe be that calm piece when it needs to be calm, that feisty, sassy stick up for my teammates when it needs to be that. And so just kind of reading the room and, whatever the team needs that day, being able to provide.
I'm going to stand up for my teammates, she declared confidently. I'm a fierce competitor. I hate losing, and I'll do what it takes to win. That's the kind of presence that shifts a team from being talented but timid to one opponent's respect, and maybe even fear a little.
But when it comes to being on the court, I really am. I'm spicy, I'm fiery, I'm the ultimate competitor, and I'm really just trying to do whatever it takes for my team to win. A lot of people have a lot to say about it, but honestly, any teammate that you've asked that maybe had opinions about me before, once for teammates like, oh, like we love you as him. I'm like, duh, I'm not a mean person. But to be honest, I think that it could be a game changer. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna hit my threes, I'm gonna do all that, but just from a young age, my parents were like, go be the hardest worker. Don't let anyone outwork you, but also enjoy it. Like you work your tail off. So when it's time to play a game, go laugh, go smile, go yell if you want to, go be passionate.
What makes Sophie such a perfect bodyguard for Clark isn't just her willingness to step in. It's her non-stop motor. She dubbed herself Forrest Gump for a reason. She doesn't stop running. Offense, defense, transition, she's everywhere. When Clark is pushing the pace, Cunningham won't just be trailing the play, she'll be right there, ready to knock down threes or knock someone off balance if needed.
I learned so much out in Phoenix. I was really blessed to have some really great teammates. You get to learn from the GOAT, Diana Taurasi. You've had a lot of people going in and out of that program. They've won championships. And so there's just a lot to learn.
And Sophie didn't learn this toughness in some textbook. In Phoenix, Cunningham soaked up that no-nonsense, win-at-all-costs mentality that only a few players ever master. It's about more than skills. It's about attitude, presence, and sending a message.
People say I'm 3-and-D, which I've never really considered myself a defensive player, but I think the past couple of years, I have been. I've been able to get my body right. I've been able to bang down low and hold my own. And so I just think when you can get players who are versatile on not only the offensive end, but the defensive end, that's where you win your championships. That's where you make a statement. And so I'm excited to kind of get down and start working hard on the defensive end. I think as a team, we all have to kind of have that mentality, especially if we're trying to get to where we want to go.
Defensively, Sophie is a coach's dream. At 6'1" with agility and smarts, she can guard nearly any position on the floor. This gives Indiana incredible flexibility on defense. When teams try to set screens and isolate Clark, Sophie can switch onto the tougher assignment, sparing Clark from unnecessary punishment and letting her focus on running the show. Bottom line, Indiana didn't just get a shooter, they got muscle, grit, and a veteran who brings more than stats to the table. And Sheryl Swoopes? She might want to retire that no one wants to play with Caitlin take before Sophie Cunningham makes her eat those words all over again.
My length causes some issues sometimes. With the bigger people, I can get into their knees just because I kind of have that strength. But for me, I think that's an area where I could actually improve on. Like, it's funny to me that people are like, oh, she can play some defense. I'm like, oh, I mean, I struggle with that. I know Stephanie White's going to be on me about, getting better in that area. But for me, that's an exciting thing. A big shot is a great energizer. A great pass is a great energizer. But when you can get 3 stops in a row and you get the crowd into it and you frustrate the other team, like that's the type of stuff that I like.
The Indiana Fever didn't just boost their shooting game by bringing in Sophie Cunningham. They tackled their biggest weak spot from last season. Those days of opposing teams taking cheap shots at Caitlin Clark without any consequences, those are done. This time around, the first player who tries that nonsense is going to be staring down someone with a reputation for never backing down.
That it's okay to be a girl, but also go out there and kind of have a feisty mentality, and it's okay to sweat and it's okay to yell and kind of, have that grit about you. And so I've never had to try. It's just kind of who I am. And so I'm excited to kind of bring that energy to this arena.
Cunningham didn't just bring a sharp jumper to Indiana. She brought some sharp words too. Her comments about finally feeling free in her new team spoke volumes. When she said, "I can finally be free and be in an offense that I think I can really thrive in." It was more than just excitement about the Fever's playing style. It was a subtle jab at her former team, the Phoenix Mercury, and the dysfunction she seemingly left behind.
But I promise you that I'm just ready to win. I'm ready to win. I'm ready for y'all to be there. But like I said, you guys haven't even seen feisty yet.
Cunningham's value to Indiana goes far beyond her ability to hit threes or pick up technicals for trash talk. She's bringing with her a championship mindset molded by none other than Diana Taurasi. Sophie didn't just learn how to compete, she learned how to win. "I want to be a good leader. I want to be a great teammate. I want to bring the culture piece," she said. Translation: she's here to change the vibe, not just the score.
It is huge to have those relationships with not only your coaching staff, but with every single teammate. You don't have to be best friends, but you have to have each other's backs and you have to get along. And I think that's something that I love is the culture, because we're going to win games, we're going to lose games, hopefully not too many, but you're going to remember these types of moments. And so if you can really get to know and get that chemistry off the court and know your teammates, how they tick, what doesn't make them tick, I just think that's just a recipe for success on the court.
And that cultural shift? It's exactly what Indiana's young roster needs. Cunningham's vision of a team built on strong relationships and focused purely on winning slots in perfectly next to Clark's rising stardom and Aaliyah Boston's blossoming dominance. She's bringing the Mercury's battle-tested blueprint to a Fever team that's eager to contend.
There's more eyes on the W more than ever. There's more eyes around the world on this team more than any team, I think, in the whole entire world. And so I think just like embracing it, but making sure that we stay tight-knit. I'm a very big culture and relationship type of person. And so I think there's going to be a lot of noise, but if this culture right here in this locker room can be good, I think we're going to be all right.
But it's not just Sophie's on-court edge that makes her a game changer. Her experience as a Suns TV analyst sharpened her media chops. And in today's WNBA, where visibility equals opportunity, that's pure gold. The Fever don't just need players, they need personalities who can handle the spotlight. Sophie checks both boxes with ease.
How valuable is that experience that you have that not only you bring, but Dawana brings, Natasha brings, Sydney brings? There's a ton of playoff experience coming in here.
It's huge. And I think any player that you talk to around the league is you can have the best team, but if you don't have playoff experience, that other team is going to win the majority of the time.
And let's not forget, Sophie's not some playoff rookie. She's been in 15 postseason battles and even made it to the finals. She knows what pressure looks like and how to handle it. "You can have the best team," she said, "but if you don't have playoff experience, that other team is going to win the majority of the time." That kind of wisdom? Invaluable for a young Fever squad dreaming of a championship.
I think they were really smart about bringing people who are experienced that. They know that we have the firepower to get there, but now you need the experience and the knowledge and sometimes just like the calmness of how to kind of adjust through playoffs and the mindset, because it is a different beast. You can have a great regular season, but when it comes to playoffs, it's a shift, right? And if you've never been there, you don't know.
The leadership skills Sophie Cunningham absorbed from Diana Taurasi, one of the WNBA's most ruthless competitors, are now making their way into Indiana's locker room. Sophie isn't just bringing hype about winning. She's delivering the habits, the focus, and the daily mentality that only come from being around greatness. By putting an emphasis on basketball over distractions, she's helping lay the groundwork for a championship culture to flourish.
When you guys were here last year and about how you would be such a great fit for what the Fever are building and the type of player that they need, I'm sure you see it that way. What do you think your fit is here with the Fever?
You know, I just outwork people. I'm the ultimate competitor. I'm a fierce competitor.
Sure, Cunningham's reputation as the enforcer has made the headlines, but it's her shooting that might be the real game changer for this Indiana team. Last season, Sophie knocked down nearly 38% of her three-point attempts, a stat that gives Clark and company another lethal option on the perimeter. When defenses collapse to try and suffocate Clark or Aaliyah Boston, Cunningham will be there, ready to punish them from deep.
When you look at this roster from a perimeter shooting perspective, yourself, of course, Caitlin, Kelsey Mitchell, Dawana Bonner, I mean, it feels like there is real weapons in place to be dominant around the three-point line. Is that how you see it?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you can get more of your teammates being able to shoot the ball at a high percentage from the three-point line, I mean, defenses don't know what to do, because if you come out on us, then we're also going to go right by you. And so for me, I'm biting at the bit. I'm ready for our team to get here. I'm ready for training camp to get here. I just am excited to get started. But I do think that's why we're turning heads. I think the Dawana Bonner piece was a huge piece that I think surprised a lot of people. Can't forget about Natasha Howard. Been talking to her for a couple years about being teammates, and so it's fun that we're both here now, and I think that she brings a very versatile four who can also shoot the three ball.
Remember those painful sequences last year when defenses threw 3, even 4 defenders at Clark? When she kicked the ball out, more often than not, The Fever didn't have enough consistent shooters to make them pay. Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell did what they could, but the floor spacing still wasn't enough to create breathing room. That's where Cunningham changes everything. In 2022, she averaged 12.6 points per game and shot 40% from downtown, strong enough to be considered for the league's most improved player.
Any team that you can have players 1 through honestly 5 who can get the ball and go, I think that's just huge. You don't allow the defense to set up. You allow Caitlin to get off the ball a little bit and go do her thing as a 2. DB bringing the ball up, that's going to cause a lot of issues with her height and the way she shoots the ball. And so for me, if I get it, we're going. Like, we're running and gunning. And I know that we're all kind of on the same page about the offense that we want to run and whatnot. And so I just think the more versatile you can be, that's always a good thing. That's always a blessing on both ends of the floor. If you can do more than just one thing and your whole roster can do that, our depth is crazy this year with our versatility. I don't know. I think that's why we're turning heads. I think that's why people are really keen on us more. And I say us, and it's my first time as a Fever.
No, you can
so
be
now
us.
I can say us.
It's us, yeah.
What makes this such a scary good fit is how well Cunningham's style matches Indiana's up-tempo, ball-sharing offense. She's clearly thrilled to be part of it, saying, "This is the type of system I thrive in. We move the ball, we shoot, we run. It's exactly how I want to play." And that's not just talk. This is a team where every piece now fits together, and the result is a nightmare for defenses. Now imagine the kind of problems this group will cause. Clark penetrates, kicks it to Sophie waiting in the corner. Boston gets deep position in the paint as the defense scrambles. Mitchell attacks the closeout from the wing. Add Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, and Lexi Hull into the mix, and you've got 6 different ways to get buckets. Every single one of them dangerous. That's not a theory. That's what happens when you put complementary talent together with a clear system and purpose.
For me, I'm glad I've experienced that, and you don't know what you don't know. Like, I didn't know those were big deals to be in the playoffs and make a deep playoff run. I know it was a big deal to be in the finals and whatnot, but now kind of being 6 years in the league, you know that you need that type of stuff, and it's just different. You don't know until you don't know. I keep saying that because that's just the truth. And so the more that we can pour into the people who haven't been there and the rookies and all that type of stuff, I just think that's a really, really good thing.
Analytics back up what we're already seeing. A high IQ playmaker like Clark paired with a knockdown shooter like Cunningham? That's a dream combo. Those contested shots from last season are suddenly wide open. Those risky passes now lead to clean looks. The offensive stalls that cost Indiana in tight games? Gone. Sophie gives the Fever another dependable scoring option, and just as importantly, someone defenses have to respect. Sophie's confident claim, "I came here to win, we are going to win a championship sooner than later," is more than just a soundbite. It's a shot straight at every critic who doubted Indiana could become a real contender. It's a clap back to every talking head, yes, including Sheryl Swoopes, who claimed no one would want to play alongside Caitlin Clark.
For me to kind of know what I can do in the league now and have my feet underneath me and be able just to have that confidence, I just think we're at different areas in our career for the better. And so for us to finally come back together, her still scoring at such a high elite level, me still learning from her, I think it's going to be really cool for the rookies and the younger classmen to really kind of learn how champions work. Like, what is their mentality? How are they in the weight room and the training room and all that type of stuff. And so for me, I'm super excited that me and DB are back being teammates. Like I said, we've been texting quite a bit. We're both excited to get up here. And seriously, I think we're both gonna enjoy where we're at in our career, but also we're really looking forward to turning heads in the league where we won a championship. I know she's kind of getting up there in age, and so I know she wants another one. I want my first one. I know the other people around us want one as well. And so I just think that where everyone's mind's at is in a really good spot.
But while the pundits were busy crafting their Clark is toxic fairy tales, Indiana's front office was quietly building a contender. What started as a rebuild centered around a rookie phenom has turned into a full-on title push. Veteran leadership, youthful star power, defensive grit, elite spacing, they've got it all now. And at the center of it, Sophie Cunningham, the final piece who brings edge, toughness, and the wisdom of someone who knows what it takes to win. The Fever aren't just relevant now, they're feared. The question around the league isn't, can Caitlin Clark lead this team anymore? It's, how do we stop them? Indiana's no longer just a storyline, they're a problem for everyone else. As Sophie boldly put it from the jump, That championship isn't years away. It's coming fast. And at this point, only Sheryl Swoopes will be foolish enough to doubt her. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.